What happens when you feel like talking doesn't help? Notes on Grief by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie documents her battle with grief and depression after her father's death. Adichie goes into detail about the things that grief can make one feel. She discusses its nonsensical nature, how all the things she was supposed to do didn't really work. What then?
I guess my first question would be, where do you think that expectation is coming from that you're not doing it right? Or I guess what would the feeling be, if that makes sense, of like, well, what makes you feel like you're not processing it correctly? Again, I think it almost ties back to that feeling of there's so many expectations with grief of I should be doing it this way, or if I'm grieving right, I will feel this way, or maybe I'll be less sad, or maybe I'll be less angry. And so I guess the question would always ask folks is, well, what makes you feel like you're doing it wrong? Maybe it truly is they're just not, allowing themselves to express it in the way they know they feel like they can. And okay, maybe that means we look at something different. I think, again, there's expectations that we have to talk about it, or maybe in some families or some other spaces, it might feel like, no, we don't talk about this at all. And so I think, again, it's kind of finding uniquely for each person what that looks like, and maybe it's through expressing it in a different way. Maybe it's through talk, maybe it's through art, maybe it's through movement again. Maybe it's through a different means.